Yeah, and then they're coming closer. And then it's like, don't even think of screaming. But I was not gonna scream. I was just, everything just shut down.
In your body.
In my body. I couldn't think. I couldn't utter a word.
What it do, what it does it. Lutolo here. Well, welcome to Intentional Conversations, where we get to speak about life, faith, creativity, and God. Today I'm very excited for my amazing guest. It's your first podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to do such an incredible job.
Thank you.
You wrote a great book. With Facebook friends, I got your book. I read it in one day because the story was captivating. Mm-hmm. It was heartbreaking. But there's sometimes I think when we look at people's lives, and some of the stuff that they've gone through, we rush too quickly to get to the happy part. And the story cycle just made me sit in the middle, sort of sit in the tension of what you've been through. But we'll get to the story. Boitumelo is the name. Mm-hmm. Tell me about you.
Yeah, I am Boitumelo Motsoeneng, soon to be Mabunda.
Hey. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, hey. So I was born in Katlehong, but a few days after my mom gave birth to me, she took me to Kwakwa, and my great-grandmother was the one taking care of me, brought me up, for a good 15 years.
Yeah.
And then I came back to Katlehong. Yeah. Now I stay in Vosloorus and I am a child of God.
Come on. Tell me about your great-grandmother. She played a big part in your life and in your story.
So when I was born, Mme, we called her Mme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was 75 years old. So she had raised a lot of people and she was now tired. That is why when my mom brought me to her, I was like, no, but like it's unfair. I can't be raising someone else. And my mom just left me in the middle of the night and ran away.
Yeah.
That now she was forced to take care of me, but I didn't feel that. She just loved me, like,
out of her,
like
you
she
are
just,
one of her own.
Yeah. Even the family members were trying to make me feel that I was not supposed to be there, and she made me feel like, no, you do have, you have to be here, So she took care of me. She taught me a lot of things. I spent most of my time with her, and she loved me. She loved me. Yeah. So yeah.
What's the fond memory that you remember about Umme?
How she would protect me. I mean, although it kind of spoiled me.
Yeah.
But,
you say so, eh?
Yeah. I mean, if I did not want to do something, she would tell me that you should say so. You should not be forced because you are young. But also it's because of the environment that I was growing up in.
Yes.
A lot of people were just against me taking care of me at her age. And she was like, no, but also you have to stand up for yourself. So let's say maybe they're trying to make me wash dishes more than anyone else. She'll tell me, no, tell them you can't. You will wash them when your turn comes. And I will say so. And I'm like, yeah, if you guys have a problem, ask me.
Yeah. Go to her.
Wow. And she'll back me up. So she was wonderful.
Yeah, she gave you self-confidence.
Yeah. And love, like a sense of belonging. Yeah, that I didn't have to be anyone else. I didn't have to do anything for her to accept me, for her to love me. She just did. And everyone else I had to kind of prove. And as a result, I walked into life being the kind of a person who's like, I can negotiate a lot of things, but not for you to love me.
Yes.
Yeah. So you will choose if you love me, but don't expect me to do certain things and to for you to love me. Yeah.
I mean, you're speaking about you speak about how other people in the family did not want you being with because of her age and also because she had raised so many people. But also speaks about the inner tension that your family has sort of been going through and how you were sort of part of that. Just sort of explain how the family situation was. We'll get to the mom part, but just kind of how the family situation was, to the fact that where were you going to go if you're not going to go to me?
Sure, yeah. Already, like, my mom and her mom were not in good conditions.
Yeah.
Their relationship was just messed up. She was not even staying at home when she brought me to me.
Yeah.
They have not seen each other for years. So there was just a lot of tensions in the family that I would not be able to know even the origin. So when I came in, already a lot of people were not in good relations,
talking.
in good talking. There's just been a lot. So when you get there, you have to choose the one you're gonna live with.
Yeah.
It's just sides.
Yeah.
You take one side, and this side, hore, if you are on this side, these are your enemies. These are your people. It has just been that kind of a situation. And Met really tried to bring people together. And when she died, everyone just went their own way. So yeah, it's really been like that. Even like the people I grew up with, I don't feel like they are my family. I look at people who consider each other cousins and siblings. I'm like, you guys have that kind of a relationship? I don't.
You don't.
I grew up knowing the person that we live under the same roof is my enemy. If I wake up and they woke up first, there are things that they will be like. It was not healthy. It was not healthy at all.
And then she passed away.
Yeah, and then she passed away.
And everything changed.
Totally.
What happened?
Now there's Mpuseng, who is Miss Child, right?
Who's also in the house.
Who have, like, Mbali is another cousin of mine who is her favorite because she liked Mbali's mom for some reason. And yeah, things just changed. Now I didn't have that defense. Someone to defend me, someone to at least also to love me.
Yes.
Someone to share my challenges with.
Yes.
So I was kind of on my own.
And you were only 14?
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. Things changed. But I knew also Ms. health was deteriorating and she was old. I mean, she couldn't walk at some point. She couldn't talk at some point. And I knew that things are going to change. And towards her last days, I was the only one taking care of her. And people were like, yeah, you should. Yeah, now she's sick. She's sick because of you. If she was not taking care of you, she would have had longer to live. So I was taking care of her.
But at 14... you having the weight of having to take care of your grandmother. But not just that. It's the fact that your family now is sort of blaming it on you. It must be very hard.
It was very hard. But also, like, for me, it was my chance to serve,
Your grandmother.
my grandmother. Like, it was my chance. The moments we spent where she couldn't do anything and I was doing everything for her, those were fulfilling for me. So, yeah, it was kind of the feeling I had taking care of her kind of was more than what people were trying to make me feel. The people, like those who were opposing me, nothing that I felt from them was more than the fulfillment I got from taking care of her. So, yeah.
Then you narrate the great... I mean, obviously, her death affected you, and then you jump on to there's this friend who just kept inviting you to church, and you had sort of been going to some form. You don't have to say the church or the denomination, but you had sort of been going, but it was inconsistent, ne? And that would be Mayor's Church. Okay.
Yes.
And so obviously now she's gone. You're spending your Sundays at home, But there's this friend who is consistent. Tell us about that friend.
So yeah, she was brought up in a pastoral family.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, she knows this Christian culture since birth.
Yeah.
And yeah, she'll judge me. She'll judge me on how I do things, how I see my perception of life. And she'll be like, no, you need to be saved.
Wow.
But we're very close.
Yeah, so she can just say it. She can just
tell me.
She can just throw it at you.
So yeah, she'll tell me you should be saved. But I don't know what that means. And every time she's like, we are going to church. We're going to church. I'm like, oh man, I go to church and it's just a waste of my time. I'm there. I'm sitting there. And at that point, I have so many questions about life. I have this big hole in my heart. I don't know. I don't know a way to figure things out for myself. Yeah. And she's inviting me to church. I'm like, well, but this one is different because they have
Yeah.
It's kind of different. They this holy vibe.
Come on.
That's just different.
Yeah, the dress code is a bit better.
Yeah,
it's your Sunday best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And then on the 16th of June 2010, she's like, hey, she's on the road. It's like, we're going to church. Like, oh, okay, cool. Now I'm under pressure of preparing an outfit to go to this
Because now you
church.
don't want to just rock up with anything because you know how churches are. They, if you're not dressed nice, it's like, hey, who's that? Yeah.
Like, they kind of notice you.
Yeah, they notice you because it's like you're not hitting the same standard.
Yeah, no. So I tried. I'm like, no, let me wear the same colors. I think we wore pink dresses on that day.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Let's go there. Then we go. And there's just so many funny things they're doing that are so unfamiliar to me.
What's the first one?
Like raising hands and closing eyes when they're worshiping.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you guys, is there something you feel that I'm supposed to feel that I'm not feeling? Yeah. And yeah, they just burst into praying. Everyone is, it's like they're in sync. They know what they're doing.
What to do, and when to do it.
Yes.
When are you lost?
I'm lost. I'm just like,
you're 14 at the stage and you'd never been in a church like this.
I've never been in a church like that. And then, we sit down. It's someone's time.
Yeah.
And then this guy opens John 11:25. Jesus waits to Lazarus' sisters. Though he who comes to me, though he dies, he shall live again.
Wow.
That blew my mind. Because me just died. And I mean, if there's hope for someone to die and live again, I want that.
You want that. Because you've lost someone so important.
So dearly to
and
me.
So dear to you.
If I knew that they have a chance to live again, or even myself, when my turn comes, I want to live again.
Yeah.
So I listened to this sermon and he just goes on and on and on and talks about Jesus, how he is the way, the truth, the life. Yeah, he just goes on and on. And at the end of the sermon, he calls people to come receive Jesus.
Come on.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, receive Jesus. Okay, but then I have a lot of other questions. I'm like, okay, but what is it? I mean,
what does it mean to receive this Jesus?
To receive Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, also, what is it that I'll have to do from now on? How am I sure that truly this person can provide what he says he can provide?
Yes.
I'm having a million questions sitting there. Other people goes, I'm like, I go over fit. I still at a point where I need so many answers to so many questions. So no, I'm not gonna go in front. People go in front, they raise their hands, they are crying. People had this thing. Like, oh, cool. I don't go. Then my friend, we met, like, you didn't go in front. Like, yeah. Oh, firstly,
I love this friend of yours.
firstly, she asked me, Gucci, so you how was church? I'm like, yeah, the music was fine. Oh yeah, you guys can sing. And she's like, is that all? Like, yeah, am I missing something? Yeah, so I think she was hoping I would say, yeah, I'm saved.
Yes.
But I was not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, yeah, the music was fine. And she was disappointed, Shem. Yeah, that's when few, maybe 3-4 weeks down the line, someone else invites me to church. Right? I go.
This is someone else.
Someone else.
Yeah. And I think you tell it that they would come through into your place Sunday morning, and they would literally say, listen, church is happening soon. Come through.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Wow.
So this other one comes, I was in Zwaki. It's like, yeah, you should come to church. I'm like, oh, cool. Let's go. It's the same
church.
Type of church.
Same type of church,
yes,
but it's not the same
church.
church.
Yes. So I go there. When I get there, okay, of course, the same things are happening, but then the preacher opens John 11:25.
Wow. Same scripture.
Same scripture for 3 weeks down the line.
Wow.
Same scripture, almost same someone, but surrounded on Jesus giving life after death.
And it's fresh to you because you've lost someone very important. Someone, and there's family turmoil, a sense of hope, peace is not there.
Yeah.
And this pastor now, 4 weeks down the line, is preaching the exact same sermon you got 4 weeks before.
Yes.
What happens?
The thing is, when I heard this message the first time, it stayed in my mind. I wrestled with it.
Yeah.
So it was still unsettled. I'm like, no ways. No ways. So now I'm trying to calculate, did someone see me in the previous church, told Mfundisi to preach about the same sermon? What is happening?
Yeah.
Like, I feel so naked. I feel like no ways. Someone is spying on me,
Yes.
But also, there are, internal thoughts that no one would know about that this pastor is kind of addressing. I'm just so confused. And the same thing happens. The pastor calls people in front, like, come receive Jesus. Like, no, I'm not going. Yeah, I'm not going.
You feel there's something in you. It's
very deeply.
Something is happening on the inside.
Very deeply.
What is the one question that you had about God then that made you be very resistant?
I think was how would he do that? Yeah. I thought in my own, if I could stand on the way of Miss Death, I would have done that. I would have. I didn't want her to die. Yeah, didn't want her to die. God didn't do that. Cool, for whatever reason, I didn't mind. But that, I was there when Meh died. I knew it was the end.
You saw her die.
I saw her. I was with her.
In front of your eyes.
In front of my eyes. I knew this is the end.
Sure.
If there's someone who says that end
is not the end.
It's not the end.
That's a very big claim. But also it's like, how?
Like how?
How does this thing happen?
You know? I'm thinking, we already took this person to the grave. We closed it up. How does it happen?
How does it happen?
That was my biggest thing. Because I had already came face to face with my own limitations. Someone died that I really love and I could not do anything about it. But someone claims to have power to give life to the very situation that I had witnessed and I had confronted my own limitations. That was a big claim.
Come on.
Yeah, so I need to know how. Yeah. So, the last time.
And you started that journey until when did it start making not complete sense? But you just said, you know what, I'll give this Jesus thing a try.
After that, the second time, I actually went home and prayed.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually went
By
home
yourself?
and prayed by myself.
So you went home and you prayed.
I'm like, well, God, you seem to have something to do with this.
Yeah.
There's something very abnormal about this situation, but I want to know. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know who Jesus is. You know, I just want to know. Yeah, we'll see if I believe or not. I just want to know if this thing is true. Is it for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to know. I prayed consistently every day until God chose another day to answer the questions.
Wow.
You know? So
how did he answer it?
the same way. I went to the very same church, the second one. I went there. This pastor from Lesotho came, preached John 11:25.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was like, my message will be titled, Who is Jesus? And we're like, because I want you to understand who's making the claim for the claim to have context.
Ooh. Sheesh.
I'm telling you.
Hey.
I burst into tears. I was like, no, man. This person is the person who makes sense to the hole in my heart.
Yes.
He's a perfect fit.
Come on.
I was like, and now it's funny because when I heard those things, I got more attracted to who Jesus is. I was like, okay, he can do that. But this person, this person makes sense to this whole.
To you. Yeah.
This is the very thing
that you've been wanting.
So I was like, no, this is it.
Yeah. And you then got more involved in the church.
Yeah.
And soon you were doing things. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Soon I was in the front. I was leading the praise team. I was the music director.
Hey.
I was just the girl.
And you were the it girl.
I was the it girl.
Yo, what it do? Would love for you to please support us and be a partner with us on Patreon, where you'll help us be able to create more and more of this material. I want to say thank you to all the people who have been supporting and who will continue to support the work that we are doing. We cannot do this without you. Thank you for supporting. If you'd love to, please make sure that you click on the link below and support us on Patreon. But you raised a very important part in the book, which I know that me and my wife didn't read the book at the same time, but I know how she would have processed this specific part, which is the part about purity. In most Christian circles, they call it purity, whatever culture. Yeah, but Tina, we grew up with the whatever purity rings and, wearing white and all of those whatever things. And speak about that and, speak about that in terms of your experience. Because now you're the worship leader, but also it feels like it has to come with this other tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I obviously got introduced to the purity culture. People would publicly proclaim how they are virgin, never slept with any boy, that kind of thing. I'm like, actually, I've never slept with any boy too.
Yeah.
Okay,
so you are good.
Yeah, so this thing is a thing. Okay, good. Now, Nami, when I get a mic, just let it be known.
So literally, you would speak about Jesus as your Lord and Savior, but also how you are.
How
you're a virgin.
Yes. And people would clap more. Hands would be louder.
You actually liked more if people know that you are a virgin.
Yes. And I think that also gave me confidence in my leadership roles. Because now I am qualified in a way. I am pure.
Yeah.
So that was a huge confidence tag, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think unconsciously it makes you not to regard other people who are not virgins,
Yeah.
whether or not they're sexually pure after the past of their sexual sinfulness. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, you are not a virgin. Also, like, you have nothing to offer anyone who would want to marry you.
World. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mina, already also the confidence is from the fact that if I'm there in front, I must be liked and pursued by many guys because I am the it thing. Yeah. I am pure. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So that was how we perceived it.
On the surface, it's a very good thing. You know, keeping yourself for marriage. The unfortunate part is that it's focused largely on women.
Yes. Yeah.
It's I mean, I grew up in the church, and no guy would brag that he's a virgin, even even in the church, you know. But we knew all the virgins in the church.
The women.
Yeah. Even the ones that were not. You know, we would know that, no, this one, we know. You know, but when you go to the church, you have to sort of portray that image. It comes from a you know, from wanting something good, but unfortunately, it's got some very bad aspects to it. What are some of your sort of thoughts, Werner, that you sort of seen and you just also had to personally process?
Yeah. I mean, if I know for a fact, Mina, when I reflect that had I been married then, I was not going to be a good wife, though I was a virgin. There were a lot of things that I was not taught, that were not yet developed in my character, that would have made me a horrible wife, right? My theology to start with was bad, yet I was a virgin. So in some sense, I was not pure. I was not pure in my Christian walk. I was not pure in how I treat other people. I was not pure in a sense that I had rankings. I ranked people. And that was a contradiction of my Christian profession. I was just a virgin, but purity in a biblical definition, I did not possess. Yeah. So I think that is good, but it's a very limited way to define purity. And I think it's one of the things we must really look into, that you're not becoming pure only because also I was 14, I think 15. I had not had a chance to say no to sex, right? I had not been involved in those things. It's not like I was taking care of myself, but I was too young and not like thoroughly exposed to those things, right? Yeah, I didn't decide that I want to be pure and I'm doing it for the Lord. I was not doing it for the Lord as well. So, yeah.
And I guess when it becomes too big a thing in the church, and that becomes your status, you know, I think it's a very weak foundation, and one that you then have to maintain. And we all know how life is, you know, having weak foundations that you have to maintain.
Sure.
One lie here turns to two lies there, hiding that here to hiding that there, because you have to live up to this image. I think for me, the one thing is sometimes the people who perpetuate this whole purity thing is sometimes the woman. But the same standard is not applied to men. You know, it's really not applied. It's really not applied to men. And we have to be equal. You know, in this whole thing.
Sure.
Because no one's asking me if I'm a virgin or not. You know. So you become the it girl. You are leading worship teams. You are 14, 15. You're leading worship teams. You're leading people older than you. You are considered more anointed because you are a virgin.
Of course.
You know? But also you have a beautiful voice. And what's happening to you at that time? You really are enjoying this new environment and also new responsibility that you were given?
Yes, of course. I think though I went there for Jesus, my mind shifted to other things. my mind shifted to other things. Like most of the time, it was not about Jesus there. When I thought of going to praise and worship team rehearsal, for instance, I was not thinking we are going to sing for Jesus. I was thinking, now there is the platform for me to be listened to, for me to lead, to be followed,
Yes.
And I do wish that when I arrived at church, there could have been some program to sit me down and disciple me. I was young, age-wise, and I was a very new Christian to be leading, and I did not know much about Christ or what is it to be a Christian. Yes, I believed based on the message that I had, but after that, they just wanted to use my gifts, and Namia was available, and which robbed me of that foundation one needs to develop a sense of theology. What is it you really believe? What is it that's believed in this culture? And then how are you going to practicalize it in your everyday life? So I was robbed of that, and I was now in serving ups and downs. And but it was exciting.
Can imagine.
It was exciting. Most of the time I felt like I'm not seen. I'm always sight-lighted, but now I was given a chance to come in front, be on the spotlight, be applauded, and that was boosting for me. So,
And coming from a family that you didn't receive love, and the person who gave you love, which was Umme, is now passed away. And now you find yourself in church and you're given all of these platforms. It's nice. And so it's actually your show. It's actually your thing. Then you describe one Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
You are you're waiting to be picked up from the missionary house. Were you preparing for a conference or just Sunday service the next day?
Yeah, but a different one, a special one.
It was a special one.
Yeah.
What was it?
I think we had like 3 other churches coming to our church. Yeah, so it's our turn to host them, and some other times we be hosted by them. But it was that kind of a thing. Then we have a different preacher, but we're going to have more audience people.
Yes, more people.
Yeah.
Explain that night. What happened?
So we come from church, right, afternoon. We're like, okay, our pastor usually used to pick us up and drop us at home. And that time, he happened to go to the wedding, and he's not picking up his phone. We don't know what time he's going to come back. And we're like, okay, cool. Rehearsal is done. Let's give him maybe an extra hour. He doesn't pitch. So we're like, let's walk. It's not too late. And Ausi now decides to uncap a little bit, and then she'll go back home. Cool, we
you
go.
You and Ausi now. Ausi
Dineo.
Ausi Dineo. But I'll learn these things. You guys are now very good. She brought you to the church. Now you are in.
Yes.
She's in the worship team. Hey, it's like the cool girl squad.
Yeah. We had a very good relationship. She's like, okay, let's go. And then we just talk about our stuff on the way. And then 2 guys.
You're gossiping about everyone who else can sing and all of that.
Yeah,
what must happen tomorrow,
Yes. So we're just talking, and then, we while we're still walking, talking, 2 guys passed us, and they greet us. We're like, hey, hello, but we're so busy with
the conversation.
We talk. Okay, at the end, okay, goodbye. We'll see each other tomorrow at the service. Cool. That I was very confident. I would sing walking on the streets. So I'm just singing the songs
you're
that
excited.
I'm
you
excited.
Leading. Tomorrow morning, it's another event. And you're going to be leading it.
Of course.
Hey.
Even the people coming, the people we are hosting, they're expecting to see me there.
They're expecting to see you there.
I can't disappoint.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, now I'm rehearsing the runs I will be doing, how the posture of my body, you know. I'm in that moment. Few months down the line, the two guys who passed us, they are waiting, but now they're standing like in the middle of the road. I look at them like, oh, okay. But I'm thinking of how they treated us earlier on. I'm like, okay, these two men are they're good people, they're nice. You know, they may be standing there for their own business. Cool, no problem. I don't get any emotions.
Any emotion or anything.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'll just pass. Then I approach them like they've changed. They are now like very angry. They're serious. Their faces are just aggressive. They tend to my
direction.
My direction. Yeah. I come close. I'm like, okay, what's happening? And I greet them. And there's one who was speaking the whole time. And this guy's like, hello, Boitumelo. Yo, I got so shocked. I got so nervous. I'm like, Boitumelo. I'm seeing this guy for the first time in my life. You know, like, so the previous day, on Friday, I won awards at school.
Yes.
So he's like, so
you were a top student.
I was.
You are still a top student, huh?
I wish. So he's like, so how do you feel having won the awards yesterday? Sure. No, I just got cold, my entire body.
Yeah.
And then they're coming closer. And then it's like, don't even think of screaming. But I was not gonna scream. I was everything just shut down.
In your body.
In my body. I couldn't think. I couldn't utter a word.
Yeah.
So they approached, like, don't even try to scream. So this one, I don't know, one of them pulls up a knife and the other one shows me a gun. And then I'm like, sure, my mind is shut. I can't think of anything. So like they
grab you.
They grab me. They push. So there's a bush. So they take me to the bush, and they are just so fast. I'm still so confused. I'm so confused.
Is shut down. You don't know what to think or what to feel.
Sure, I can't even feel my feet.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what is happening? So and this one is still talking. Yeah, so today we wanna show you something. Today is your day, like things like that. I'm like, okay, so they took me to the, like, maybe just in the middle of the bush.
Yeah.
And it seems like it has been prepared. That place, it looked like something that has been prepared. You know, that has been thought through. The place is prepared. It's just, And then they're like, okay, the spokesperson's like, take off your clothes. I'm like, I'm not going to take off my clothes. He lights up a cigarette. It's like, take off your clothes. I'm like, well, I can't do that, you know. And then he comes, he takes off my clothes. Then, they raped me. Yeah.
How do you feel telling that story?
It's hard. It's hard because now I have to think about that moment again. And, well, I've thought about it a lot of times. But I don't know. I can't think about it and not think about the things I wish I could have done differently. Yeah, I think most times I think about that. Oh, why didn't I scream? But at that moment, I didn't have the ability to, you know.
Yeah. You then can't go home.
Mm-hmm.
Because now man's not there and home is not a place of love.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to someone's house.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Yes, that's a woman who went to our church.
Yeah.
We were not close or anything, you know, but she stayed near the bush. So I was like, let me just go to her. She will see what she does with me. But I have nowhere else to go. So I just walk there and it took me a while. But there's a part of me that was grateful that I can pick up my feet. I can take one step at a time. You know, I'm alive. Like, I don't know, I had this acceptance when I got into the bush. I'm like, no, I'm not going to come out of here alive. Even after the rape, there was something dying in me that I felt, okay, no, it's fine. Even if they kill me. You'll recall in the book, I read about their conversation deciding whether to kill me or not.
Between the two, number one. But people must go read the book.
Yeah. Yeah. So in that moment, I'm thinking, no, you can kill me. There's something that shifted in me.
You felt like something died within you that you actually did not want to see another day. Something was stolen, and even how it was.
Yeah.
It killed you.
Yeah. And in that moment, funny thing is, I was not thinking about church. I was not thinking about, I've lost my virginity. Who am I to church? In the rape situation. That was a different story. That was a hit to my self-worth, the value that God has created in me as a human, the value I have because I'm a human being. That was a hit on that. You know, like that whole process was just undermining that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Anyone who have been there knows that you would, it's like, if anything can kill you then, it's fine. It's a favor they did to you anyway. You know, that's how I felt. So I was like, okay. But now when I was out of the bush, I was like, okay, well, I'm still alive. Let's see why I'm still alive. Let's see why they didn't decide to kill me. Let's just walk forward and find help. Yeah.
You were raped, and you actually wrote a letter to your rapists. It was two men. Do you want to read that letter?
Letter to the men who raped me. To you whose pleasure is in creating misery and destroying other people's lives, you have exceptionally achieved your goal with mine. To further add to your enjoyment, please be made aware that what you did changed me utterly. You distorted my perception of my body, removed the idea that it is God's temple, and made me believe it was your least valuable item. I applaud you. You have done your job so well that even after so many years, your fingerprints remain. What you meant for evil, God used for good. You have given me a thorn in my flesh that the Lord has used to humble and shape me in ways glorifying Him. That is why I can even write to you. You did hurt me, but you could not have destroyed me. The night you raped me was preceded by many others that I had spent with the Lord. And what you did to my body could have not snatched my soul out of His hand. All the pain and hurt you imparted to me that night became just a tool in the hands of God, and He continues to use it to shape a life that represents His name. That does not even slightly suggest that you are off the hook. In fact, it must make you aware that what you did to me is primarily an offense to a holy God, whose judgment no one can escape. I know it was hard for the police to track you down, but there's no way you will hide on the day God has ordained to release His wrath. For every woman you have raped, you will get precisely what you deserve in hell. You'll get punishment for everything we have all suffered because of what you did to us. You will suffer it intensely and eternally. You will deserve every pinch, and nothing will help you escape. If you think prison is terrible, wait until you take your last breath. You will regret ever being born. Jesus is the only way out. That catastrophic death He publicly suffered and all insults He persevered, as ultimately holy as He was all so that you may escape the wrath of God. He suffered it all on your behalf, so you may never get what you deserve. all you have to do is repent and believe in Jesus, and you shall be saved. None of disastrous things you have done are too bad for God to forgive. Even if your sins are as red as scarlet, He will wash them as white as snow, just as He promised. You just have to believe. This saying is true and sure. I wrote to you because it is through believing in Jesus that I realized I'm no better than you, and that this message is for me just as it is for you. The same way you have trusted my HIV status when you raped me without protection, trust me for the core message of this letter: be reconciled to God. Accept God's forgiveness through faith, and you will not have to worry about mine. However, if you reject God's forgiveness, my forgiveness will be of no use to you. Yours sincerely. They were now going to tell my school that I'll be leaving the school. And my class teacher then, Dr. Khanye, he walks to the car. He just does this, just puts his arm on the car and he cries.